Last thing we need to cover for the test is what's called evaluating the functions. So as we saw last week, function notation is denoted by, well in this case, w of t. We also have g of x, which means w is my function in terms of the variable t. And when I want to find something like w equals -7, looking at my notation, what variable got replaced with a number? The t, right? So everywhere I have a t, I need to plug in a -7. So that gives me w t equals -2t plus 1. But in the case of this problem, it wants to be w -7 equals -2 times -7 plus 1. So see how that works? Okay, now you just evaluate. So what is -2 times -7? That is a plus 14 plus 1. So what is w -7? That is 15. W of -7 is 15.
That's it?
That's it.
What?
So let me give you a minute. See if you can find g -6 to where g of x equals 3x minus 3. So I have this problem. G of x equals 3x minus 3. To where now I want to find g of -6. So everywhere I have an x, oops, I'm going to replace it with a -6. Very good. So g of -6 equals 3 times -6 minus 3, which is -18 minus 3. And you should have gotten a -22.
Oh, my math is so wrong. Oh, that's 21.
18, no?
Or from,
You're right, it is 21.
okay, I was about to say, I was like, my math is wrong.
And you should have gotten -21. Now is your math right?
Mm-hmm.
So my math is wrong. Now using that, let's try to find f of x equals x squared minus 3x. Find f of -8.
Okay.
So notice, this still means I need to replace what variable? X. So everywhere I have an x, such as there, and there, and there. So everywhere you have that variable, you need to replace it with that -8. So f of x equals x squared minus 3x. Where again, I'm replacing that x with a -8. So notice how I just fill in the gap. And now evaluate. So f of -8 equals -8 squared, so that's 64, with -3 times -8, which is plus 24, which equals what?
88.
88.
So would it be -64?
Because you're squaring it, so it's negative times a negative. So it
Yes. Watch out the calculator. This will give you a -64, but this will give you a positive 64. Make sure you always put negatives in parentheses if you're squaring it in the calculator. Otherwise, it's going to follow order of operations, which means it's going to do this first, the exponent. Okay. Not always will you just have some number to plug in. You can actually, in fact, plug in anything for this value here. This is important because when we run into the difference quotient, we're going to have to do just that. So I have my function h of x equals 4x minus 2, and I want to find h of x plus 2. So looking at here, x plus 2, where should I put in x plus 2?
Where the x is.
Yeah, notice how this was previously h of x. Now I want to replace that x with an x plus 2. So this gives me h of x plus 2 equals 4 times x plus 2 minus 2. Notice I did not do this. didn't just slap it in there, because then you get the problem wrong. This x is a number. That number is getting replaced with the different number x plus 2, which means you have to put it inside parentheses like so. You can't just drop it in here. This is a completely different equation. And let's see.
So you keep the x, right?
Yes, we're going to keep the x because the x was here. If this was w plus 2, then I would put w plus 2 there. Okay. Looks like to solve this, I need to distribute this 4.
I stay right for this.
That gives me 4x plus 8 minus 2, which equals to 4x plus 6. So when I take h of x and I replace it with h of x plus 2, the solution is 4x plus 6. Again, you have to plug it right in for x with parentheses.